Lord is with you.
And also with you.
We continue listening to God speak to us from the Gospel in the tradition of John.
Glory to you, Lord.
At the Sea of Tiberias, Jesus appeared to the disciples once again. This is how the appearance took place. Assembled were Simon Peter, Thomas the twin, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, Zebedee's 2 sons, and 2 other disciples. Peter said to them, "I am going out to fish." They replied, "We'll join you." And they went off and got into the boat. All through the night, they caught nothing. Just before daybreak, Jesus was standing on the shore. Though none of the disciples knew it, Jesus said to them, "Friends, have you caught anything to eat?" "Not a thing," they answered. "Well, cast your net off to the starboard side," Jesus suggested, "and you will find something." So they made a cast, and they took so many fish they could not haul it in. Then the disciple whom Jesus loved cried out to Peter, "It is the Lord." On hearing who it was, Simon Peter threw on some clothes he had stripped and jumped into the water. Meanwhile, the other disciples came in the boat, towing the full net of fish. Exactly, they were not too far from the land, no more than 100 yards. When they landed, they saw a charcoal fire there with fish laid on it and some bread. "Bring some of the fish you caught," Jesus told them. Simon Peter went abroad and hauled ashore the net with sizable fish, 153 of them. In spite of the great number, the net was not torn. Jesus told them, "Come and eat your meal." Not one of the disciples presumed to inquire, "Who are you?" For they knew who it was. Jesus came over, took the bread and gave it to them, and did the same with the fish. This marked the 3rd time that Jesus appeared to the disciples after having been raised from the dead. When they had eaten their meal, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" "Yes," Peter answered, "you know that I love you." At which Jesus said, Feed my lambs." A 2nd time, Jesus put this question, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" "Yes," Peter said, "you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Tend my sheep." A 3rd time, Jesus asked, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt because he was asked a 3rd time, "Do you love me?" So he said, "You know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus told him, "Feed my sheep. I tell you solemnly, when you were younger, you fastened your belt and went about as you pleased. But when you are older, you will stretch out your hands, and another will tie you fast and will carry you off against your will." What Jesus said indicated the sort of death by which Peter was to glorify God. When Jesus had finished speaking, he addressed Peter, "Follow me." This is the gospel, the good news about salvation.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
By the words of the gospel, may our sins be blotted out.
Amen.
So as I said, we gather, and it's the constant Easter. Okay? It's not a day. It's not a season. It's a way of life. I remember when I was in the classroom and we received a new, wasn't called the Catechism anymore, it was called the New Religion book. And we were called to be Easter people. And it was such a different way of looking at this particular word Easter that a lot of people might not have been comfortable with it. And this is mainly the whole outlook, history, tradition of the church, where people have been on one side or the other. There's always been disagreement within the church community, within the Christian community, which Jesus calls us to be one. There were those who, right after the resurrection, believed that the most important thing was the crucified Christ. Then there was another group who believed mainly only in the resurrection. All through the centuries, there have been debates in the church. And if we read the Acts of the Apostles, which is very simply a history of the early church, we see another division between Peter and Paul. One wanted the strict adherence to the Jewish way of life, and the other one didn't. So what did they do? As in any good relationship, in any partnership, they made a compromise. And the most important thing is very simply that we remember that we all follow the same Christ. In some parts of the church today, there are those who advocate going back to the Latin Mass. And if you remember that, it's okay. But what we talk about is at the Last Supper, Jesus didn't speak a language that no one understood. And at the Last Supper, Jesus didn't turn his back on his friends when he celebrated the Eucharist, the meal with them. And yet there are those who, of a certain age, who are very young in their way of life, who want that mysticism, who want, and if you remember, it was very, very impressive. With the flowing vestments. And then we look at the new Holy Father. Very simple. In fact, I read a letter. I didn't write, I read the letter. It's something I might have written myself. There's a publication called the NCR, the National Catholic Reporter, and it preached from somewhere in St. Louis, and he actually signed his name to it. And I said, man, this guy's got it. Wouldn't it be wonderful if all the cardinals and all the bishops took the hint from the Holy Father and did away with all the lace and the red cassocks and wore a simple black cassock to show the camaraderie with the new Bishop of Rome? Doubt that's going to happen, because too many people look at working for the church as a pat on their back. Don't you do a good job? Aren't you an authentic witness? If we don't live what we believe, well, then we're no witnesses at all. Today in the gospel, you know that expression, and we all know this, actions speak louder than words. Okay? What Jesus did, he prepared a meal. He showed by what he did that he was there to provide for his first friends. He didn't wait to be served. He served them. And this is, each one of us is called to be that servant, to be that person who is there for the other. And it goes back to something that we say all the time. Jesus said, I give you a new commandment. Not a thought, not an idea, or hey, try to do this. A new commandment. Love one another. And we take the word love and we put it on postage stamps. We take the word love and we make nice banners. We have bumper stickers of it. And we take the word love and we sing about it. And we take the word love and we make a mockery of it. The authentic love is to be there for the other. The authentic love is to let the light of Christ shine through us. The authentic love is to be Christ. Pray for me as I pray for you. And may God bless us and keep us. May God's face shine upon us and give us peace, now and always.
Amen.